that middle one. See if you can set it up inside the tent. So we're wearing the cow hoods, the woolen ones, And I think they're fantastic because, you know, it's a light snow at the moment. We're down to hovering around -1, -2 maybe, but 95 degrees humidity. And on this climb, it's a gradual climb, but it's enough to get a bit of a heat on. So I wouldn't like to be wearing wax canvas, and certainly not anything plastic, because rather than dealing with this moisture outside, we'll be dealing with the moisture on the inside. So these cows, you know, they're remarkable. I mean, wool is just remarkable how it's taking the water just a little bit, but not all the way through. So it's dry underneath and it's warm. The other thing about them is that they're basically sheltering all parts of my body that would be getting hit by this snow. And they're a relatively small thing to dry off by the fire, rather than one whole garment. One whole garment would overheat me in this, because at the moment we've just got our hemp knits, underwear, possum knit, mid layer, and the cows on. And in the bum bags, we've got our wool coats, and Maya's got her sheepskin vest, but probably don't need that unless we have to stay here for a bit. Wool pants on with hemp knits underneath. And it's kind of the perfect amount. Like, I'm not sweating, but I'm high temperature. The other aspect to it is it's modular clothing, which is sort of perfect for these conditions, come to think of it. Cuffs, gaiters,
Boyangs.
hey?
Boyangs.
Boyangs, yeah, the boyangs, I got them on. You see them? And they're fantastic. They just help keep your pants up, keep them out of the snow when you're toileting. Not that I'm toileting in the snow actually, but they keep you out of the... We stopped at the public toilet back there, and it keeps you out of the mud of the public toilet, which is the main thing. And then in this skiing stuff, they're definitely helping keep the pants up, as does the belt of the bum bag, of course. And the pants themselves, nothing more irritating than pants sort of sagging down while you're doing this. Sure, you can stop to pull them up, but it'd just be nicer if they were just set there nice. So beautiful, beautiful day here on Mount Sterling. Was it snowing here? It's Sunday today. Poor Maya's starting to come down with a flu. She must have picked it up on the way up here, or a few days before, but probably not going to get much skiing done. It'll be mostly keeping the fire going, playing cards back in the tent. If this flu keeps coming on, it's a bummer. Anyway, not much else to say. Still forecast for another 20 or so centimetres today and tomorrow. So it's just a light dusting up on the ridge though. Big winds, apparently 100k winds. Probably stay low.
So are we just gonna go up to like first hut or?
Yeah. Similar to the redwoods of Japan, California, we've got the mountain ash of Victoria, Australia. Okay, so we're skiing back down. And When you stop, of course, is when you notice that dampness that you have in your sweat, and some of it coming in from the outside starts to cool you off. And that's when you want to have your next layer, in my case the wool coat, in my bag, and it throws on and I rest and it warms you up. Now I can already feel that that moisture is warm. Like I feel dry. And yet I know that my body is still perspiring. I'm still active. Temperature is still high. So there is still moisture in my hemp layer. Right now I reckon it's going back to vapor and breathing off through my wool. So it's a little bit like a wetsuit, I think. This is just my experience. You know, I've gone a lifetime wearing synthetics, you know, with the odd complement of wool, like merino wool knit base layer, which I don't go for anymore because the absorbency of that wool merino base is pretty minimal, and the relative warmth of it is also fairly minimal, whereas the loose fitted hemp knit absolutely absorbs me. And the analogy I give is like you know, when you got fog on your lens or your glasses, you try and wipe that moisture off your lenses with a wool knit, it doesn't work. If you wipe it off with a cotton or a hemp knit, it does work. So obviously the absorbency is better. And you go one step further and you think about oils, body oils and stuff. Once again, the wool knit picks up a very minimum amount of that, whereas the cotton hemp knit picks up a lot of it. So then a lot of people out there be saying, oh, but cotton kills in these environments. No, it doesn't. If you're just wearing cotton, like jeans or something ridiculous, and you're exposing yourself, so you're getting it wet, either both through your sweat and through the elements, and you let the wind or even the cold temperature cool that off, then absolutely it's going to do you a problem. But if you're insulating it, in other words, putting a big wool coat over top or wool pants over top, or I'm not recommending wearing denim jeans or cotton denim jeans, by the way. Wool denim jeans, yeah, absolutely. So I don't think wool is a satisfactory base layer. In my opinion, I'm much more comfortable with the cotton hemp knit base layer, but I've got to be careful, not even careful, I've just got to be mindful to keep that insulated. Don't wear it exposed, and of course I wouldn't in these situations. So there you go. I'm feeling the sweat in my back, of course, which is another reason why I carry bum bags to minimize that back sweat and let it breathe off in this wool. Yeah, so by the time we get back to camp, we'll get the fire going. That's just going to dry us off beautifully. Even if we didn't have a fire going, sitting out of this under the tent would dry us off relatively. Just have to be mindful to keep ourselves warm and insulated. And one of the ums and ahs, one of the indecisions I've got about is feather down. So I've got feather down doonas back at camp, Maya and I, and they're beautiful, comfortable, compressed down, and they're warm, but in this high humidity, you know, high 90, over 95% humidity, I'm pretty sure it's affected. And the way I would combat that is to cover it with a wool blanket. But you're adding a lot of weight there, so, but it definitely helps. I mean, I don't know what else you do, but carrying 2 or 3 wool blankets is incredibly heavy. But 1 wool blanket on top of your feather down doona, I think that's the go. And when I say feather down, ideally down doona, but it's just a bit difficult at the moment for me to find someone making Japara cotton doona baffles with just down in them. But anyway, for me, I'm just happy for now going and getting the Japara cotton feather down doonas. That's the domestic ones you can get in most bedding shops. And I think what I'll do is I'll make a doona cover for that, which is a soft cotton underlayer and a melton wool top layer. So when the doona's not in it, that can be just my summer bag, or not bag, summer blanket. And when the winter is on, slip the doona into it and it should be good. Bulky and a little heavier, but very comfortable and much nicer than a nylon covered down bag, nylon coated in fluorocarbons. Like, come on, it's really not an option, is it? I've gone my whole life using it, and now I've been using all this natural, and I can honestly say it feels more comfortable. I feel a certain pride in understanding how this all works in myself. I feel connected to the past, and these things, they could be cliches and nostalgia, overly nostalgic, but I don't think so. I think there is a genuine connection to it. Shit, I've been raving on. Oh, mate, you're still with me, darling. You're still with me, darling. I was raving on and forgot all about you back there, sweetheart. Anyway, I'll probably have a hell of a time editing this down, or maybe I'll just let the whole rant go and see what you all think. One thing I do notice is these wool pants. So this is the Japanese melton, and it's a little bit lighter weight than the melton I get in New Zealand, but it's softer. The New Zealand melton is heavier and coarser, and there you go. That's the catch, really. Like, I think the coarser might be better in these conditions. Yes, Dale?
I think that's where it joins up.
Yeah, it is. That's the circle we were going to do. Kind of glad we didn't go that one, because I reckon there might be branches across it and things. Anyway, so the heavier weight, coarser wool in these conditions is better, and the reason I bring that up is because I can feel my legs relative to my body a bit cooler. I mean, mind you, that's because I've got the hemp cotton and then the wool pants, whereas on my body I've got the hemp cotton knit with the possum and the wool coat, and then the cowl. So no wonder my top's feeling good. So yeah, I think it's fine for my legs to be feeling a little bit cool in this downhill run, because yeah, any heavier in the climb up and I probably would have overheated a bit. So yeah, mid-weight pants, I think, for these sorts of conditions. And this is pretty typical winter conditions in Australia. -3, snowing, wet, patches of dry as you get up in the altitude, but as you get up into the altitude, the wind picks up, so you don't hang out there too long, and you go up there when the weather's good. So I think that's a fairly common winter setting in other countries. I know there are beautifully dry snow areas and -30 and dry. All that's pretty unimaginable to me. I've experienced a Scottish and a Japanese winter, and it was very similar to this. Even though it was registering as -10, 15, it felt the same as this. So it must be that the humidity here is much higher than over there, and that's why I didn't feel as cold as here, even at that temperature reading. So, big thumbs up to wool, of course. Those who know already know. But the modular clothing, the cowl, maybe some long cuffs or forearm protectors, gaiters would be good. Just areas where you get the most wet, having those elements or those areas having a smaller garment to remove so that it dries fairly quickly, while you can still wear your coat underneath it that's been protected by it. It's a good way to go. And anyone who's doubtful about the hemp cotton knit, well, there we go. In my experience here, Maya's as well. I mean, admittedly, we're not out for a week tenting it across the high plains, but even then, obviously I'd keep a spare set for bed, and when I'm out and about, I'm active and warm and not sitting still for too long, and then just lay on them when I go to bed, lay on the damp or wet ones when I go to bed, and I'll put them in my sleeping bag, depending how wet they are, hanging by the fire obviously if there's a fire available, and just keep the dry ones handy, so interchanging dry ones all the time. Okay, that's a big enough rave. Beautiful out here. May, what a trooper. She's come up with a bit of a flu. Not because of what we're wearing. It's kicked in today, which is, she must have been brewing it the day before, or even the day before that. On the other side of the family, they've got the sickness. They've got a toddler in their house, bringing it home every day. So poor May's battling that. Right, beautiful up here. See you later.